Randy Schroeder. I want to thank you so much for investing these next few minutes with me. You know, 20 years ago, I was so lucky because 20 years ago, I was introduced to this industry of network marketing. The last 20 years of my life have been incredibly blessed. I can hardly believe it. 20 years ago, I walked into a room for the first time and I was taught about these principles of network marketing and I just fell in love with it. You know, a few days ago, I was in Singapore and someone stopped me at that point and said, "Well, Randy, what did you fall in love with?" Here's what I fell in love with. The person that was introducing the industry to me was a great guy, but I didn't see anything in him that was so special. I didn't see anything about him that set him apart from other people, and he was earning 3 times as much money as me. You know, I'd been a very successful stockbroker for a number of years, and here I met a person who had skills, but not extraordinary skills, who had talent, but not extraordinary talent, and he was earning 3 times as much money as me. That impressed me, but it's not what moved me to action. What moved me to action was the quality of his income. You see, his name is Craig. Craig was working where he wanted, he was working when he wanted, he was working with whom he wanted, and because of so much success for so many years, he even got to choose if he would continue to work. It didn't seem to me like those outcomes were ever going to be mine if I stayed a stockbroker. And so 20 years ago, I joined this industry. The name of this DVD is 20 Years. And my great hope is that over the course of the next few minutes, in a series of short video segments, that I can help you learn in the next 20 minutes or so what it took me 20 years to learn. And you know, 20 years ago, I now feel like I was put into the top of the funnel, and I started working my way closer and closer and closer to the one single company within this industry that I believe sets itself apart, that creates opportunity more dramatic and profound than any other, and that company is, of course, Monavie. Well, 20 years ago, I walked into the back of the room and I was introduced to this industry. Shocking for me to say it, but 20 years and more than $25 million in earnings later, we have a chance to communicate. My hope is that I can help you understand with clarity what it is about the particular timing in your life that perhaps should provoke change, that in another segment I can help you understand what it is about this industry that is so special that you can understand with clarity what it is about Monavie that is so special. I hope finally you can begin to understand that probably you yourself will have to undergo a little bit of change. Certainly I found that I had to undergo change. Well, 20 years ago, I entered the room. 20 years later, my life's incredibly blessed. 20 years. That's how long it took me. I hope it only takes you 20 minutes. I look forward to our time together. 20 years ago, I had an amazing experience. 20 years ago, I was introduced to this industry of network marketing. And you know, I now feel like 20 years ago, I was dropped into the top of a funnel and I started working my way closer and closer and closer to this moment of profound opportunity of being involved and associated with Monavie. 20 years ago, I got in this industry, and unbelievable it is for me to say that 20 years and more than $20 million in earnings later, I got as lucky as you can become. I became affiliated with Monavie. For 52 weeks, I built a distributorship, the most productive 52 weeks of my life. And I came to understand that these beautiful principles, which are network marketing, are more properly employed in one place than any place else. And then my longtime friend, Dallin Larson, approached me one day and he said, "Randy, would you be willing to change your role? Would you be willing to give up your distributorship and become the international distributor ambassador? I would like," he said, "for this entire company's international operations to benefit from your life experiences as opposed to just your group, as opposed to just your downline." And it took me a moment. It set me back for a second because, you know, for 20 years, being a network marketing distributor is not just what I do, it's what I am. But Dallin said, "Randy, I want your life experience to impact all, not just a few." And so, completely in line with that thinking, I have created this little DVD. It's called 20 Years. And I really do believe this. I believe that you can begin to learn at least the surface concepts that it took me 20 years to learn. I think you can learn them in the next 25 or so minutes. And so you'll see a few short video segments, and I've tried to encapsulate little bits of the most important lessons that I've learned over the course of this time. I hope that it's beneficial to you, and I'm grateful for my possibility of being in association with you. Where are you on the face of the clock dial? That's an interesting question, isn't it? You know, over the course of my life, I've come to identify this clock dial as a way to help people crystallize in their mind the possible need for change. Where are you on the face of the clock dial? High noon is when last year was the best year in your life, and next year looks better still. Money's good, relationships are good, health is good. High noon. You know, the truth is that most high noon people don't change. I know about that. I've been at high noon. We get a little full of ourselves. Here's an important lesson from my life. The hands on the clock dial don't stand still. High noon, best year in your life was last year. The coming year looks better. But you know what? The hands don't stand still. What I have observed over the course of my life, in my own experience and in other people's lives, is that things change. We don't know why, we don't know when, but things change. I don't meet people whose life has stayed at high noon, high noon, high noon, high noon. What's 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock's when the hands on the dial have moved just a little bit. 3 o'clock, it still looks to the world like your life is at the absolute peak. But you know that something's changed. You've got a little gnaw inside your gut. Something's changed. An example of being at 3 o'clock would be that perhaps you're the senior vice president of a very large corporation. To the world, it looks great. Beautiful home, great relationships, everything's perfect. But you know that your company is about to miss its earnings numbers by a long ways. You know there are about to be thousands of layoffs. And you've even got this little twinge inside your heart that says that maybe you'll be one of those who is downsized, right-sized, or completely replaced. 3 o'clock is a magic moment for you. Why? Because when you make a contact, and introduce someone to our business, they will respond to you exactly the same as if you were high noon. See, high noon, the person says, wow, he's got something for me. Randy's at high noon. He's living in the best house. He's driving the best car. If he's calling me, he's got something for me. That's the same way that it feels when you're at 3 o'clock, because only you know that something's changed. Your husband or wife might not even know that something's changed. High noon is a critical moment in our industry. You can further harvest the value of every success you've had before in your life if you are smart enough to capitalize on the moment. 3 o'clock is a precious moment. Something's changed. You know it, others don't. People will respond to your message as though it was high noon, but you and I both know something has changed. If you happen to be at 3 o'clock, move, and move now, move quickly, because you know what I know. The hands on the clock dial will not stand still. What's 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock is when something's changed and it's become evident to other people. The earnings report was missed. The people got laid off. Now, when you make the phone call, it's a totally different response. Wow, Randy's calling me because he's in trouble. You see the difference? At high noon, Randy's calling because he's got something for me. At 3 o'clock, Randy's calling because he's got something for me. At 6 o'clock, Randy's calling because he needs me. That's a big difference. If you are at noon, if you are at 3, recognize that one of the magic components of this industry, one of the magic spots in Monavie, is that it lets you get paid again for every good thing you have ever done. And here's the real key. I want to help you stop the progression of the hands on the dial. It can be stopped, but it can only be stopped if we take action. Those hands will keep moving unless we take action. 6 o'clock is when something's changed and it's become evident to others. Now, if you happen to be at 6 o'clock, don't despair. There is a proven and predictable pattern of activities. If you happen to be at 6 o'clock, we will teach you specifically and exactly how to cause your candidate to see the power and the magnitude of the opportunity that is Monavie. We'll take the pressure off of your current moment and challenge. What's high noon? High noon's when last year was the best year ever in your life. Next year looks better still. The truth is most people at high noon don't change because they incorrectly believe that it's always going to stay noon. 3 o'clock, that's when something's changed, but only you know it. Between noon and 3, ultimately, over the course of our time together as we build a business that becomes lifelong, I'm hoping so much that I can teach you what finally I've learned, and that is that we can always live our lives between 1, 2, and 3, 12, 1, and 2. Some of us even figured out a way to always live between 12 and 1. You know what? If you're at 3 o'clock, you have to act now because the hands will continue to move. If you're at 6 o'clock, precious moment. Monavie is the answer. Now it becomes critically important that you become a conduit to the system because it's so critically important that people see Monavie and not your moment of travail. By the way, it can get worse. What's 9 o'clock? Noon was when last year is the best year in your life ever, and next year looks better still. I hope that you'll recognize that this is a special moment, that you can allow others to see Monavie through your success, and what a great advantage that is. 3 o'clock is when something's changed, only you know. These days are precious because shortly other people will know. Take advantage of these moments of special opportunity. 6 o'clock, something's changed. It's become evident to others. Now it becomes critically important that you fully harvest the value of every single 24-hour period. It becomes critically important that you allow us to show you how to put the focus on Monavie and to take the focus off of you. What's 9? 9 o'clock's a sad moment. I've been at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is when 3 came and action wasn't taken, 6 came and action wasn't taken, and suddenly life is completely and totally chaotic. The job was lost some time ago. The business was lost some time ago. The house might be lost now, or that day may be shortly coming. If you happen to be at 9 o'clock, how I wish I could leap through these airwaves right now and grab you by the shoulders and just shake you a little bit, because here's what I've observed. So many people get to 9 o'clock and they fall into the fetal position. I want you to be one of those who says, no, not now, not me, and I want you to recognize there is a way to stop the progression on these hands, and if you find a company where the dynamics for growth are so perfectly correct, and if you become willing to be coached and to get yourself involved in the process, you cannot just stop the hands on the clock dial, but you can turn them backwards. Now, you know, in my life, I have raced around that clock dial, not just once, but a couple of times. Lessons don't always come easy, and we don't always learn them once and forever. I can tell you, however, at this stage of my life and career, that I do believe that I have learned how to always live my life between 12 and 3. In fact, I believe I might have learned how to always live it between 12 and 1. My great goal and objective will be to help show you how to do that same thing. Where are you on the face of the clock dial? If you're at high noon, take advantage of your past success. Leverage it further into success in Monavie. If you're at 3 o'clock, take advantage of your past success. Leverage it into further success in Monavie, and understand the critical nature of every single moment, because the hands are moving. If you're at 6, join me in this thought. Your current moment of travail can be overcome by the power of the Monavie opportunity if you become willing to be coached, and if you become a conduit to a system so that your candidate sees Monavie. If you're at 9, you be one of those that says, not the fetal position, not me, I'm going to address this situation, I'm going to address it now. Well, in 20 years, I learned a lot of things. One of the things that I've learned is that if we quantify where we are on the face of the clock dial, we can then take actions that are corrective or that fully harness the value of our current moment. Why network marketing? This is such a misunderstood and yet such a beautiful industry. Why network marketing? I remember when I went to that very first presentation and I listened to a guy named Craig, and he talked about the freedom, he talked about all the different experiences he was having in life that I didn't have. And now, 20 years later, I can encapsulate for you why network marketing. I believe in my heart of hearts that network marketing is absolutely the finest way to move products to end-line users. I believe that network marketing, when its principles are properly applied, is the very best way to generate income. I believe that network marketing is the absolute best way to live. I believe those things, but what's the foundation for it? The foundation is simply this. There are 2 or 3 keys to this network marketing industry that I find absolutely beautiful. I first contemplate my successes in prior experiences. I was a stockbroker, and I was a successful stockbroker, and I contemplate my joy upon success when I would open a big new account. When I opened that big new account and I would celebrate, think for a moment at whose expense was the celebration. Did the account emerge from thin air, or did the account in fact come from somewhere else? When I got the account, someone lost the account. My every success was born of someone else's failure. Why network marketing? Because done correctly, my every success, your every success is born of someone else's success. Is it not clearly better? Why network marketing? I absolutely love this next beautiful principle. It's because we can recruit our way out of our own perceived weakness. Notice I choose my words carefully. We can recruit our way out of our own perceived weakness. Just last week, I met someone who said, Randy, I think I'm too old. I said, well, I don't think you are, but if you think you are, sponsor someone who's younger. Just last week, I met someone who said, Randy, I think I'm too young. He happened to be a 19-year-old. I met him in Israel. He said, Randy, I think I'm too young. I said, well, I don't think you are, but if you think you are, sponsor someone who's older. I realized I had 2 choices. I realized I could go to school for 12 years and become a doctor, or I could go sponsor one. It's a beautiful thing to be able to recruit your way out of your own perceived weakness. Why network marketing? Network marketing because it's the very best way to move products to end-line users. Why network marketing? Network marketing because it's the best way to generate income. It's the best way to live. Why network marketing? Because it gives us a chance to recruit our way out of our own weakness. Why network marketing? Because this is an industry where when its principles are properly applied, our every success can be born of someone else's success. Why this industry? It's because someday, one day, finally, having correctly constructed an organization that consumes a product of value, our income can take on a life of its own. And I reflect back to that very first day, that very first moment of participation when I felt the glow, the rush of being in a room where people had freedom or they felt the hope of impending freedom. And I recall when Craig said these simple words. He said, "I can give you a chance to be able to work when you want." I didn't have that chance. I was a stockbroker. I worked when the market was open. In your current job, career, profession, or business, do you get to work when you want? I didn't then. I do now. I didn't get to work where I wanted. I was assigned by the firm where I would work. Do you get to work where you want right now? Man, I wish you could see where I work. I live in one of the most glorious, extraordinary places you can imagine. My office is in my home, and it is on the beach in Southern California. I work where I want, and I work when I want. When I travel internationally, I do it on purpose. It's because I want to meet you. I want to develop a relationship. Why network marketing? Because it grants us the chance to work someday, one day, not immediately, but when we want, where we want. This is a big one for me. I think back to my days in that financial services world. I didn't really have relationships. What I had was managed conflict. Why did I have managed conflict? Because I was in such intense competition with everyone else in the office. Today, it's very different. Today, I get to choose with whom I will work. Ask yourself that question. Do you get to choose with whom? I didn't. I didn't get to choose with whom I would work. Today, I do. It's all a volunteer. It's a volunteer service for me. I work with whom I want. I work when I want. I work where I want. And this is the real key. Today, I get to work if I want. Do you? Really and truly, no kidding. Do you get to choose if you will work? That was never going to happen for me if I'd stayed in my prior profession. I don't believe it ever would have occurred. But today, because of long, long, long years of success, because having come to learn and understand what the principles are that govern this industry, and then having found my way to this beautiful example of all of those elements, Monavie, I believe, is the single standalone entry in this industry. Having found my way to this company, what do I have and what do I want for you to have? The opportunity to work when I want, where I want, with whom I want. And what's that if? What's that about? Well, you see, someday, one day, if you do it well for a long enough period of time, you will no longer be dependent upon your weekly paycheck. I remember all those years that I worked for money. I remember all of those years that I worked for money. You probably work for money now. After years of success, I can finally share with you the freedom and the joy of no longer having to work for money. You see, after years and years of success, today money works for me. What a joy, what a pleasure, what a gift that is. How I so want you to experience it as well. I believe in my heart of hearts that network marketing is better. Not a little better, a lot better. And I believe within network marketing there's a standalone best company. I hope so much to help you, to guide you, to be a part of your journey from starting point to mid-level success to ultimate success in Monavie. Why Monavie? You know, I remember when I went to my first economics class in college, I learned what the factors of production are. And the factors of production in a typical business are land, labor, and capital. I learned that so many years ago. Well, I want you to know that in network marketing, there are also known quantifiable factors of production. Why Monavie? Because those factors of production are, in my opinion and estimation, more correctly to be found in this company than ever before in our industry. And just what are those factors? First of all, a product that matters to people. You know, this experience with Monavie is for me such a unique one. Today, for the first time, I am willing to suggest to you to have your entire decision be based upon your own personal experience with a bottle of Monavie. My simple request of you is that you buy a bottle of Monavie and drink it. And after you consume the first bottle, if you don't want a second, for heaven's sakes, don't do our business. But if after you consume the first bottle, you find that you want a second, you just proved the business to you. What is the first factor of production? It is a product that matters to people. You know, I've had such an interesting experience, such an interesting career in this industry. I've studied this industry so carefully, and here's what I've learned. If there is a universal appeal to the product, that then situates the company differently for growth. It makes your opportunity different. Here's what I've come to observe and experience about this Monavie product. It doesn't seem to matter if you're younger than me or if you're older than me, if you're more physically fit or if you're less physically fit, are you a man or are you a woman, what your ethnic or racial background is, it doesn't matter. Total, absolute, universal appeal, that first factor of production in Monavie is a product. And by the way, it has to go further than that. What, by the way, is the product? Well, the product is a blend of 19 fruits. I'm not a product expert. I'm going to send you right straight to Monavie themselves to learn why the product does what it does, and for you to learn what is appropriately said about that product in your individual market. But here's what I found. What I have learned over the course of my career is that if we can somehow impact a person personally, if they can become emotionally attached to the product because of their own unique outcome, then we get not only those people who have business designs like mine, but we also get people who are product advocates, product ambassadors. We get people who fall in love with the product and they become almost product missionaries. One of the huge reasons for Monavie's success is that huge number of product ambassadors who have been personally impacted in such dramatic fashion. I have found that to be a great product is one thing. To be a great product for network marketing is another. Why is the Monavie product so great for network marketing? Because universal is the fact that people enjoy it. When you consume your first bottle of Monavie product, here's what I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet you're going to like it. You're not just going to like it, you're going to like it a lot. And you know what that leads to? That leads to people consuming a lot. Those of you who've been around the industry will now understand the importance of my next statement. Others of you will learn over time. In Monavie, people place their second order because the first order is all gone. They don't place orders because the comp plan said to. They don't place orders because their upline encouraged them to. In Monavie, we place orders because the first order is all gone. Why is it all gone? Because the product is so simple, because we already know how to drink juice. That's a magic thing for me. I've not had to teach a single person how to drink juice. They know how to go to the fridge and open the bottle and drink juice. And when they drink it, they like it. And so they drink a lot of it. And so product velocity is extraordinary. And so people place their second order because the first order is all gone. Well, the first factor of production in a network marketing company is a product that matters to people, and I will tell you that for the first time in my career, I'm willing to suggest and even advise that you make your go or no-go decision based on your own experience when you consume a bottle of juice. That's the first factor of production. The second factor of production is a management team that knows how to execute. And here I will simply refer you again to the dramatic success of Monavie. The company in its first 4 years raced, rocketed, literally straight up rocket ship to an excess of $1.5 billion in sales. That evidence is management. That evidence is management. Here's what I have found. That in this industry, because so frequently the customer is the distributor, there are so many network marketing companies that rely upon that relationship. I want you to know that Monavie is a consumer products company whose effectiveness, efficiency, and delivery mechanisms would compete with the finest consumer product companies in the world, irrespective of method of distribution. The first factor of production in a network marketing company is a product that matters to people. Monavie has that. It's not just a product that matters to people, it is a product that is perfect for this industry. Notice two separate ideas here. A great product for people's individual consumption. I will ask that you make your decision to go or no go based upon your own experience. And it's a product that is perfect for the industry. Why? People enjoy it. It is simple. It's easily understood. People consume a lot of it. And the result is that second orders are placed because the first order is all gone. This company has operational effectiveness that, in my estimation, are the absolute best in the industry today or ever. The next factor of production. If one has a product that matters to people, and if in fact one then has management effectiveness, operational soundness, the next factor of production is leadership. And that leadership must be expressed in two ways. Leadership must be expressed in management style, capacity, quality, and quantity. And I will tell you that literally as we speak, Monavie is going through metamorphosis. Monavie is transitioning from being a great domestic network marketing company to becoming a great multinational network marketing company. How is that occurring? By the assembly of leadership. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to have the assembly of management that is now joining us from Korea to Japan, literally all over the world. Monavie is in a state of metamorphosis as we speak. The change is taking place right now. The company is beginning an evolution from the most extraordinary success ever in the United States network marketing arena. It is transitioning into a company that is positioned for extraordinary growth on a global scale such as has never before been experienced in our industry. The factors of production are first a product that matters to people, and here we have a product that matters to people and a product that in my estimation is perfect for the network marketing industry. The second factor of production is operational effectiveness and efficiencies. My life experience has evidence to me that few companies in this industry could truly compete with the finest consumer product companies in the world if they were not in the network marketing industry. Monavie can, Monavie does, Monavie will. The next factor of production is leadership. Leadership first expressed on the corporate side. That corporate management is proven in the United States, and the assembly of talent over the course of the last handful of weeks and months as this company's multinational corporate leadership has grown is nothing short of breathtaking. The next factor of production is leadership in the distributor force, and therein lies your opportunity. Therein lies our opportunity together. What I can tell you is that Monavie leadership is absolutely the finest that exists in the industry. I will also candidly tell you that leadership is scarce. There's not enough of it to go around. We don't have enough yet in your market, and that's the very reason that we seek association with you. And we understand that there are three ways for leadership to find their way to this organization. One way is to grow it. It is to work diligently with all of those people who have said yes to Monavie and help each one to refine their skills and to become more effective in the development and delivery of this business message, and to help each one become a better teacher, coach, and trainer. We'll work hard to grow our leadership. Next way to do it is to find it. Maybe that's the part of the process you're involved in now. Maybe you're a person of significance elsewhere in the industry and you've been found. Well, if you have been found, I hope your eyes are wide open to the possibilities. This is a chance for you to put an exclamation point on your career that I believe could not occur any other way. Any other way. And the next thing, of course, is to become it. What are the ways for new leadership to get here? The ways for leadership to get here are to grow it within our organizations. The ways for leadership to get here are to find it, to go out and harvest leadership from other entities, and that's never been a focal point of my career. My career has been about growing leadership, but of course periodically people find themselves at points of impasse elsewhere in the industry, and if you're one of those who has found yourself at a point of impasse, here's what I want you to know. I want you to know from my heart of hearts that this is a company where you can end your career. You can end your career with an exclamation point. You can end your career by being able to tell people once and for all, I have found the home that we looked for when we first said yes to the industry. And then the next thing, of course, to do is to become it. It is to grow it. It is to find it. It is to become it. That's another thought. Well, the factors of production and network marketing are easy to identify. And they are, first of all, a product that matters to people. Monavie has that. Beyond having a product that matters to people, Monavie has a product that is perfectly positioned for this industry. It's not just a great product, it is a great product for network marketing. The second factor of production is what? Operational effectiveness. Monavie has set itself apart. We stand upon the record. The third factor of production is leadership. Monavie's done a beautiful job of acquiring leadership on the management side. The next factor of production is leadership on the distributor side. Therein lies your opportunity. Why Monavie? Because those factors of production are more correctly in place in this company than ever before in our industry. It is a beautiful moment of opportunity, and I welcome and congratulate you for being a part of it. This video is 20 years, and so far, what have we discussed? We have discussed the clock dial. And what was the purpose of the clock dial? The purpose of the clock dial was to help you quantify where you are at this moment in life and perhaps determine to make change based on where those hands are on the clock dial. What was the second thing we talked about? The keys to the creation of wealth. What direction is the vehicle you're currently in moving, and is it moving fast enough in the right direction for you to address the challenges that you may be facing right now? Monavie is. Third, after we addressed the clock dial, was what? Why network marketing? Man, I wish so much that I could transfer straight from my head to yours all that I know about this industry, and even more importantly, I wish I could get from my heart to yours all that I know to be true about this industry. It is a better way if you can simply find the right vehicle within the industry, and that, of course, was why Monavie. We know late in this 20-year experience, I've come to understand that there's still something more, and that has to do with each of us as an individual. What am I becoming today? What are you becoming today? Irrespective of how great Monavie is, irrespective of how great this industry is, our own personal character is going to come into play. A person is going to see this venture to some degree the way they see you. Are you respected by your peers? Are you improving? Ask yourself this simple question. Are you more physically fit today than you were 6 months ago? Ask yourself this question. Has your character improved in the last 6 months, or have you in some ways slid backwards? You see, I believe that we have to finally, having identified where we are on the clock dial, having identified these keys to the creation of wealth, having carefully studied the industry and determined that network marketing is right and within the industry there's only one Monavie, finally it has to come down to, well, what about me? And so I want to encourage you to adopt this thought that we must also progress. It's not just about finding a better vehicle, it's about becoming a better operator of that vehicle. And that has to do both with the skills that we develop, but it also has to do with our own personal development. And so I'm going to encourage you to adopt your own daily disciplines. I will not impose my disciplines upon you, but I will encourage you to adopt your own. Those who know me well and have listened to me teach, they know exactly what I mean when I say daily disciplines. They've come to understand that daily disciplines done daily. And I know that's grammatically incorrect. Daily disciplines acted upon daily build character. And here's what I've come to understand, that if our character is being developed, then people will see in us something that is attractive. And when they see in us something that is attractive, then Monavie becomes a very easy decision. And so I have my daily disciplines. First, as it relates to my spiritual well-being. And I'm so careful here because I respect your version of spirituality, whatever it is, but I do encourage you to have one. I'm about the most open book there is, and so I'll share with you a bit of my life experience. I also am an active participant in my own faith. It matters not to me what your faith is, but I strongly encourage you to have one, and I encourage you to have daily discipline and act upon it daily as it relates to your spiritual well-being. Second is physical. The truth is that I like chocolate a lot more than I like spinach, but it's also true that I eat more spinach than I do chocolate. Why? Because, my gosh, my father, when he was my age, had already had cancer, he'd already had 2 heart attacks. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. I don't want to develop this income and then lack a quality of life simply because I've allowed my health to go away. Now, I'm not going to change my gene pool, and you're not going to change yours, but within the context of my gene pool, I can have daily disciplines that give me the very best chance as it relates to nutrition, as it relates to exercise, and of course, as it relates to the consumption of this extraordinary product, Monavie. But I have daily disciplines as it relates to my physical well-being, nutrition, and exercise. You know, every day, I go to the gym. Every day I go to the gym. Daily disciplines done daily build character. I've found that our business is a daily momentum business, and I've also found that physical activity is a daily discipline. Because I went to the gym yesterday, this morning when I woke up, I wanted to go to the gym. You know what? If I allowed 5 days to go by without going to the gym, it would be as though I never walked in. That treadmill turns into a dreadmill. Daily disciplines done daily build character. And I encourage you to make a decision today to be more physically fit, not less, 6 months from now. And so I have daily disciplines as a daily disciplines as it relates to my mental well-being. I made a decision a number of years ago that I would only learn on purpose. And what do you mean by that? I think the world's full of people who learn by accident. Learn by accident? Yeah, all I would have to do, any night that I'm traveling, all I'd have to do is turn on the television set. I could watch a few movies. I could learn by accident. I could learn some things about relationships that had ruined my marriage before I got home if I acted upon them. I decided a long time ago that I would only learn on purpose. I'm very, very careful about what I let in here. I'm very careful about what I let in here, because what I see and what I hear is going to find its way to my heart, and that is then going to be evidenced in my behaviors. I've decided to only learn on purpose. I learned a long time ago, someone said, Randy, great people read great books. I won't tell you I'm a great person, but I will tell you I hope to become one day, and so I read great books. What are you reading right now? What are you reading? What are you studying? What are you becoming? I want you to know that you are today becoming something. Are you becoming something on purpose, or are you just letting it happen? If you're just letting it happen, what you're becoming is not better. I almost promise you that's true. And so I have daily disciplines as it relates to my spiritual, my physical, my mental well-being. And finally, emotional well-being. What's that about? You don't even know me, but if all you've done is watch this video, you already know this. I'm moving a little too fast, aren't I? I walk too fast, I talk too fast, I eat too fast. It's all just a bit too fast. If I don't have the discipline to slow it down a couple of times every day and do some simple meditations, then at night, the ping pong ball in my mind won't stop. I'll be awake all night, and tomorrow I won't be who I want to be. And so I have daily disciplines as it relates to my emotional well-being. You see, I think that it's not just about identifying where we are on the clock dial financially. I think it might be wise for each of us to determine where are we on the clock dial personally. And sometimes, just as taking remedial action is appropriate financially, taking remedial action is appropriate personally. You know, it was late in this 20 years that I came to realize that. It was late in this 20 years. You know, for so long I thought, wow, if I just had a lot of money, that'd be the answer. And then suddenly one day I had quite a bit of money and I still wasn't happy. That was when I realized that success was not just external, but that success is also an inside job. And so I encourage you to act upon your own version of daily disciplines. My greatest hope for you is that you say yes to Monavie. My greatest hope for you is that you push yourself hard against the grinding wheel and develop the skills required to become a significant leader in this incredible company. My greatest hope for you is that you push yourself hard against the grinding wheel and that you don't just become a better leader in this industry and in this company. My greatest hope for you is that you just become better. Just become better. Be a little better husband, be a little better father, be a little better mom, be a little better Dad. If those things happen, and if I am in some way able to influence you even 1 inch that direction, then our time together was well spent. Thank you so much.